At 30 years old, Tasha Hopkinson is enjoying her life as a suicide attempt survivor. As a wife and mother of 4, she can now take time to reflect on the blessings in her life and the peacefulness of her surroundings.
I'm not exactly sure when it happened. I couldn't tell you the exact day that I started suffering from depression. On the outside, my life was perfect. I have a husband who loved me, 4 beautiful children, a gorgeous house in California, friends and family everywhere that loved me, and I knew that they loved me. But I couldn't help feeling sad every day that something was wrong or missing, or there was a part of me that just wasn't on the same track with everything else in my life.
4 years ago, Tasha said she felt hopeless and a burden to her family. Tasha's depression deepened until one day she felt she couldn't take it anymore and decided to stop the pain and struggles. Her plan was to end her own life by overdosing with a bottle of pills and alcohol.
On August 21st, 2012, I attempted to take my own life. I just decided that day that I was done and I was too much of a burden for everyone else, and I thought that everyone and everything in my life would be better if I was gone, if I was no longer there. And so I had it planned out. I had notes to all my family members, the people that meant the most to me in the world, explaining this dark sadness that I had that I felt like was hindering the person I was and turning me into someone that I didn't want to be. I had isolated myself away from anyone, and I started with taking a bottle of painkillers and some alcohol and sat down to write my goodbyes. I was hoping that the alcohol and the pain pills would numb some of the hurt and confusion and sadness and anger I had inside. That didn't take, and I still woke up. And that was the moment that I decided I needed something else. And so I shot myself twice in the chest. By some miracle, my husband found me, called 911, and they rushed me to the nearby hospital and saved my life. I was in a coma for about 5 days. I had a punctured lung. I had multiple broken ribs, a chest tube. I couldn't walk on my own. The left side of my body was paralyzed for about a month or 2. I still have 1 bullet in my back that is too close to my spine that they weren't able to retrieve. So I will have that until it gets to the point that it has to be taken out. Along with that are the nightmares. I constantly wake up smelling blood, gunpowder, hearing gunshots, just that horror or a nightmare of never waking up. I look back and sometimes can't even picture myself as that person. It seems like a whole other life ago, a whole other person ago, because I've come so far since then. Waking up was the best thing that's ever happened to me. It kind of gave me my life back. Obviously, I still suffer from depression, and there are days that are hard. But that's something I can now appreciate is I can do hard things. I have survived something and grown into a bigger and better person. Having a support system is the best thing for me, for anybody out there. Not feeling isolated and having someone that I can talk openly about everything to. Not feeling like I have to hide who I am anymore, or the feelings that I'm feeling, or the dark side that I have inside of me. Being able to talk about it, even just that is a relief all on its own. Not that long ago, I had someone very close to me commit suicide. And that was the moment that I realized what I put my family through. Because when I woke up from my coma, they were just so glad that I was awake. But during that time, I missed all of the anguish and even some of the anger and the sadness and the confusion that they went through with me trying to take myself out of their lives, because to them I wasn't a burden. I am someone they love, and they wish they knew what I was going through, that I was open enough with them to express and tell them about the feelings that I was having. That was definitely the moment that I had the full reality of what I did to my family, the sadness and the heartache and wondering why, because that's one question they'd never be able to answer. Even no matter what any letters I wrote said, they would never fully understand why. And that's something that I've wondered with the loss of my friend. And just that hurt and that wish that there was something you could have done to change their mind, anything replays in your head. And I can't imagine leaving my family to deal with all of that, because I know how it feels, and I would never want to put them through that ever again. So I am grateful day in and day out that I'm here, that I can do even mundane things like washing the dishes or changing sheets on a bed that normally irk you to death, but I'm here to do it. I'm here to be with my kids. I'm here to be with my husband. I have an amazing support system made up of lots of family and friends, and I'm a survivor. Something that I am proud to say, that I am a survivor.
Tasha wants to let others know that there is always hope and light at the end of depression, no matter how dark it may seem.
I mean, don't feel ashamed. I think that if you even have a hint of self-doubt, say it. Let someone hear, let someone know, let anybody in. You may be embarrassed, because I know that I was, because there's such a stigma around it that it's a weakness. And I'm not weak. I've had weak moments in my life, but I'm not a weak person because I suffer from depression. And you are neither. If you need help, reach out. If you're thinking thoughts, tell someone. Anyone's willing to listen, because the biggest thing is being able to get it out there so that it's at least out in the universe, and then you can sit down and think about it. I love to write in my journal. Journal writing helps, writing everything down. Even if it's not the happiest of writing, it's still out there. And I think that is a huge help. From being a survivor and seeing what my life is like now, I feel like I am here for my family, for my kids. I feel like they needed me to be here and be this stronger, better person that I've become because of all my trials and tribulations. And yes, a few of my weak moments, but I feel like I can relate to them as they grow, because everyone kind of goes through this. Everyone has a bad day where they're full of self-doubt and teenage awkwardness, and being adult's hard. So I'm hoping that through everything I've been through, and that the reason that I'm still here is for them.